What's up, everyone? Today I wanted to talk a little bit about direct experience and why that's so important to me. So, it's very easy in spirituality and spiritual seeking, and really just seeking in life in general, trying to find out what's true. It's easy to have a lot of ideas and thoughts and theories and assumptions about this. But what I'd like to point out is when we're creating these theories, when we're creating these thoughts and these models of how reality is and how it works, what is it that we're referring to in those things? Well, obviously, we're referring to our direct experience. That is our connection to reality. That's how we know that reality is a thing, that it matters, and the quest to figure out what that is what spiritual seeking and philosophical seeking is all about. What is reality? And how do I understand it and connect with it? So, for me recently, I've been focusing a lot of my time on the realization that this kind of bubble of experience that we are always at the center of, that we typically think of as kind of the information of our senses, what we see, what we hear, what we feel, and things like that. This is our connection to reality. But it's really interesting to notice that uh, we're always very intimately connected with what is real. If I asked you, where's reality? What would you point to? It would be this bubble of experience. And that's really the only thing that we have to work with. All of our thoughts take place in this experiencing. All of our feelings, our bodily sensations, what we know about the world, everything is appearing in this experience that we're having. So, if we want to know anything about reality, we have to turn to this direct connection that we have with reality, which is our experience. And so, what I've been doing a lot of is spending a lot more time being very present with what is here in my experience and not caring so much about what the content of that is, about what is happening per se, or the story that's happening of I'm a human and this is my schedule for the day, and these are all the things I need to do, and uh, focusing on my thoughts and things like that. It's really easy to do that, but I've been really trying to do those things in smaller periods of time where I'm using my mind and my thoughts for smaller periods of time, and for larger durations I'm merely just being very quiet and present with my experience, being very curious and aware of what's happening, and trusting that what is needed will spontaneously arise. Being very open to intuition and not feeling like I have to use my mind to plan out every activity and everything that I do, every action that I take, to have to like plan that out mentally first, but to be just very open and receptive to what is naturally trying to arise through me in response to my experience. And what I've noticed when doing this is that this inherent sense of peace and groundedness comes with doing that. Because I think you may relate to this. You could be walking down the street and see somebody, and you'll know that they're not really present. They're lost in their thoughts. They're thinking about what they're going to do or where they're going, but they're not like super present in that moment. And you can kind of see that. You can kind of see this fog that's in front of people's eyes sometimes, where you know that they're not really fully there in their experience. They're kind of lost in their thoughts, which are also happening in their experience, but it's a little bit disconnected and it's very internal. So what I've been trying to do is be someone that if people look at me, they can tell that I'm really here. I'm very present. If they say something, I'll hear it. If they do something, I'll see it. And just kind of holding that space. It's very hard to talk about these things sometimes because our experience is so infinitely big. It may seem like we're this very small human having this very small experience in contrast to the world and the universe. But in regards to our direct experience, this bubble that we're in of experiencing is all that we have. That is our universe. That's everything that we can know about anything is taking place right here. Any thoughts that we could think, taking place right here. Any places that we could go always wind up being here. Any time that there could be always winds up being now. So it's really the only tangible thing that we have to work with is this present moment, and being very present with it in the present moment, I've found, is the key to living your life well. If you're not present for your life as it's happening, it's very difficult to live it well. But if you are very present, then I've noticed that what is needful and necessary kind of spontaneously arises exactly when it needs to. And there's this kind of flow that you can enter instead of fight against that uh, is so beyond my human understanding of what is possible. And it's been very hard to surrender to that not knowing and trusting that the universe or God or source or whatever you want to call it is going to do what must be done when it needs to be done. Whether the mind can understand why or why it happened when it did, that's okay. We don't have to mentally understand why our experience is happening the way that it is. But we can understand that what's very important is that our experience is happening exactly the way that it is, and that there's something meaningful to that. That is something worth being present for. This miraculous unfolding of the universe and our participation with it is so incomprehensible and so beautiful. But typically, mentally, we just kind of skip over that fact and we don't really pay attention to it. So I guess what I'm inviting you to do is try being very present with your direct experience of your life and the people in your life and the things that happen in your life. Be very present for it. And you'll start noticing things you've never noticed before and feeling things that maybe you've never felt before. And maybe if you do it enough, you'll start connecting with this kind of unseen, unknown force that is moving through your life at all times, that is creating things the way that they are for a reason, a very important reason. And so I encourage you to maybe slow down a little bit and trust the flow of life a little bit more and just see what happens. So that's all I have for you today. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.